You got it.
Yes, we're recording. Thank
All
you.
right. Just once we share it later. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm excited to welcome you to this informational session about our new before and after care program for the upcoming school year. My name is Brian Bell. I am the Director of Student Services for Governor Mifflin, and I'm proud to share that we are partnering with Right at School as our new provider for extended day programming. Right at School will offer high quality, engaging, and safe before and after care services at each of our elementary schools as well as the intermediate school. And this partnership will provide our families with consistent, reliable, and enriching experiences designed to support working parents and inspire our students beyond the traditional school day. Tonight, you'll have the opportunity to learn more about the program structure, the registration process, daily activities, and what makes Right at School a great fit for the Mifflin community. We're very excited to bring this opportunity to you, and I look forward to a great conversation this evening. And with that, I'll turn it over to our partners from Right at School to walk you through what you can expect. Monica?
Awesome. All right.
Go ahead,
Thank
Pete.
you, Brian. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking time to meet with us this afternoon. Super excited to be a part of your community. And before we jump into what Right at School is, our programming, our team, I'm Peter Gwaltney. I'm the regional manager for our programs here in Pennsylvania. Also on the call with me is Monica O'Brien, our partner success manager. Together, we support Quilla Topol, who's our area manager directly overseeing your school's programs. And like Brian said, just heads up, this session's being recorded. So anyone that wasn't able to join us tonight will be able to share that link out with them. So,
Can I just
for
also
sure.
mention, if you guys
Yeah.
have questions throughout the presentation, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'll try to answer them as we go along, and then at the end, we can open it up for Q&A.
Well, our mission. So, Right at School started 14 years ago with a mission that still holds strong today to inspire a love of learning, support schools, and give families a peace of mind. I like to share my own journey with Right at School that began a little over 6 years ago in a district not too far from yours. I just finished college, knew I wanted to work with kids, so I joined our programs. And once I saw the kind of impact that we were making outside of the regular school day, I never left. That same passion is what led Dr. Rothschild to found Right at School back in 2010. He was inspired by his own kids' experience without a school time and wanted to create something better. So today, we're proud to offer safe, engaging, and meaningful enrichment programs. We use evidence based curriculum and currently partner with over 100 districts across the country, all rooted in the same mission to inspire love of learning, support schools, and give parents peace of mind. Into the programming. So, all right, at school, safety is our top priority. It's really the foundation for everything we do. When it comes to hiring, we go through a thorough pre hire process and make sure every team member meets all of the state required background checks and clearances. In our day to day routines, like check in and attendance, transitions, everything is designed with safety in mind. We also work closely with your districts to and ensure that our safety protocols align with theirs. And that focus doesn't stop on day one. We continue throughout the school year, regularly training, doing emergency drills, and ongoing quality checks to keep our programs safe and strong. So, what does high quality programs look like? Right at school, we say we learn, we play, we grow. Our program happens right at your school, blends our homework help, sports and movement, community service, and our unique play-based disguised learning curriculum. The Right at School is built around 6 key components, but we tailor it to fit the structure that your school needs. So you'll see familiar activities like play and homework time, but what makes us different is our focus on safety, strong student staff connections, and full child development. The students have a voice and a choice. For example, we had a group of fifth graders once built a futuristic city out of recyclables for one of our units. Our team gave them the space and support to make it their own and really lean into what they were engaged with. And that kind of hands on and learning is what makes after school special. So, give you an overview of what a daily schedule with us could look like. So, kids thrive on routine. So, we would always follow a consistent daily schedule to help them feel comfortable and confident. We start with check-in and a quick town hall. This is a time for them to share out anything they're excited about, and for us to really center the afternoon, go over anything that they may need to know and set those expectations from the minute they walk into our program. Then it's snack, followed by right moves, which is a quick time for them to get up, get some energy out before we dive into homework time with support from our staff. Next is our disguised learning curriculum, which is hands-on, project-based activities that make learning fun. After that, we head outside, typically for about 45 minutes, doing any type of team-centered gaming or play. And then we wrap up the day with self-directed games and activities until pickup. Again, our overall program schedule is built around your needs. So basing it off of each school, whether they're getting more homework, less homework, we tailor our program and the timing of different things in our afternoon schedule to fit the needs of the overall family. We also offer a junior educator student leadership program, typically during town hall. It gives students a chance to take on responsibility and build confidence. They also lead and take part in different community service projects like writing letters to service members or organizing soft drives for those in need. How to register. So registration for our programs is live on writeatschool.com right now. So we recommend signing up as soon as possible so we can get an accurate idea of how many students to expect in each program and ensure that we're fully prepared to support you in the fall. I'd also like to add for any families of students that have different needs, that we ask that during registration that you notify us of any needs that your student has so we can connect with our internal inclusion team and make sure that we're able to support your child. And we'll connect on a one-on-one basis to determine what those needs are and how we're able to support them from there, as well as any families that may receive subsidy through the ELRC. We do accept that state subsidized care. And as we roll up to the fall, Right at School will match whatever your subsidized care rate is, as long as you submit that paperwork to us. So there will be no delay in your registration. And with that, that does wrap up our presentation. Just a quick reminder that this was recorded, so if anyone needs it, feel free to reach out to Philo or myself. We'll be happy to share the link. Our contact information is on the screen, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat.
We do have a couple questions. The first one is around, would this setting work for an autistic child? And then Juliana, thank you for letting us know. We'll take a look at that, but you can go to www.writeatschool.com and then select your district and school in the upper right-hand corner.
So, like I said, during the registration process, you definitely notify us of your students' needs, depending on all the things we connect with you one-on-one in our inclusion team to see what resources your student needed to be successful in our program, and we could look at it also from there. So I will make the distinction that if your child does receive one-on-one care during the school day, that is something they would need with us in the after school program that we don't provide. More than so the one-on-one care is not something we provide in our aftercare program. If you're able to provide that, we're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to connect with us on that. But if your child does have that one-on-one care during the school day, they would need that with us as well to be successful in that school program.
And then there was a question about, does the rate go down when there are weeks with no school? So our rates are based on the number of school days over a 10-month period to make sure that we keep the rates consistent from month to month. And then somebody asked a question, and Tara, I may need you to come off mute and clarify, how does the schedule work with bused kids? Can you just clarify that for us? Oh, wait. This came up earlier today. What about district half days? So we did go back and look at that. So we will be able to offer care on half days at no extra cost to families. So our after school care will just be from whenever school dismisses until 6 p.m. Okay, and then Peter, somebody just mentioned, I don't know if you want to check or if Aquila, if you can check, the district was not on the drop-down box when I tried to register. It should be, but we'll take that back and just make sure.
Mhm.
Early dismissal. And it came up earlier, so we have not confirmed yet, but it's my understanding that we are going to try to offer care during breaks. Those will likely be at an additional cost to families.
And to add to the drop down of the school district, I actually 5 minutes before the call had the same issue. Our tech team let me know to clear my cache, and then it did pop up. So that may be the issue there. But I just tried it really quick on my phone and it popped right up.
So there's a question around if my child rides the bus after school, how does that work with your program? So Peter, correct me if I'm wrong, they would just be taken straight over to, like they would be taken from their classroom to the aftercare program, and then you would pick them up at whatever time between between 3 and 6. So they wouldn't ride the
Correct.
bus home.
Mhm.
Can I just clarify the monthly rate? Because I think I understood you. So you're saying that um, no matter what, it'll be that 304 or whatever the rate is each month, regardless of how many weeks the kids are in session.
That's correct. Because what we do is we take a look at the number of school days in the 10-month period, and that's how we base the rates. Peter, there's a question about we accept ELRC. That is correct.
Mhm.
Can a student come for only morning session? Yes. The morning starts at 7 a.m.
It does. And to add to the ELRC question on our website, and if you reach out, I can provide you the direct link. There'll be a step-by-step guide to submitting your approval letter for subsidy to get that set up ahead of time so there's no issues. But feel free to reach out and I can help guide you through that process.
I don't see any other questions in there, but feel free to come off mute if you have a question. Yes, district employees get a 50% discount.
So, like, if they get accepted to the program, like, would you guys let us know where to drop them off at and where to pick them up at?
Absolutely. So as we get closer to the fall, anyone that's registered will start to receive information from us about staffing and important information about pickup and drop off locations.
So Jenny, that's a great question. Typically, if there's a delayed start, we typically follow the same delay as the district. So if there's a 2-hour delay, then before care will start 2 hours later. Unless for some reason the district doesn't think that the parking lot, if it wouldn't be a safe environment for you to, bring your children, but typically that's what our standard is that we follow the same delay that the district has. Any other questions? Feel free to come off mute. And then again, we'll share out the recording. Feel free to take a picture of this so that you have Peter and Aquila's contact information. And Tracy,
And
I
I
would,
think I heard it. I just wanted to clarify on the early release days, you'll provide care from the release all the way through at no additional charge.
that is correct.
Thank you.
Mhm. So Jenny, our programs are licensed, and so depending on the spaces that we have, they will accommodate a certain amount of children. If we find that demand is higher than the number of children that we are licensed for, we will work with the district on additional space. We'll work with licensing to get additional spaces licensed, and we'll staff to that. So our goal is to not have to turn children away. There could be a small, short period of delay depending on getting the space license and such, but our goal is to be able to accommodate as many children as possible. So Peter, I'll let you take this one. Will the children of all different ages be in one room? My understanding is we try to separate somewhat by age, by grade level. Having
So
said
yeah, it
family,
will depend on the size of the overall group. So if it's smaller size overall, it might not make sense to separate the total group. As our program grows, once it makes sense that we're able to separate, we do separate by grades.
And Tracy, you had asked a question. I was going back. The prior childcare program already had early registration. With the changes, how does that work with paying the fee and the registration here? So we're not affiliated with your previous provider. The only thing that you have to pay upfront for us is the registration fee. So I would probably say talk to the current provider if you have paid anything, but we're not affiliated with them.
And if you're enrolling more than one child, it should just be one registration fee per family,
And there's
not
a
per child.
10% sibling discount as well for families that enroll two or more children. There's not a deadline, Jenny, to sign up. It's open registration. You can sign up anytime that you want. Peter, I don't know if you want to speak to, if you sign up for 5 days a week, your schedule changes. You can certainly go in and change that, Peter. I don't know if you want to go into some more detail on that, but it is very flexible.
Yeah, very flexible. You'll be able to do it through your parent portal as well as contact our customer service team to make any changes. But should you sign up for 5 days now and even prior to the school year, decide you don't need all of that care, you're able to make that change. Or while you're in program, once we've already started, you're able to make that change at any time, either add or decrease the amount of days that you need.
And Alex, very good question. I just went back and sorry I missed this in the beginning. Does it mean that registration is first come, first serve with licensing? So it's not necessarily first come serve, but the first come, first serve, but the quicker or the sooner you guys register so that we know kind of where we are in terms of the number of families we're going to serve. We're in the process of getting licensed right now. So if we already know we're going to need more than the typical spaces that we license for, we can get additional spaces added from the beginning. So certainly if you have the ability to go in and register now versus later, that will certainly help. But doesn't mean you can't wait until right before school to register either. So
Yep. And to avoid any caps, we do staff on a 1 to 12 ratio. So we're always able to staff up as we're nearing that next ratio tier. So anyone enrolling early really helps us make sure that we go into the fall successful.
and Peter, somebody Vanessa asked, can you explain a little bit more about the drop-in rates?
Yes, so the drop-in rate is $50. So that'll include morning and afternoon for the day you're dropping in on. So through your parent portal, you'd sign up for a drop-in or a punch card that works very similar, kind of prepaid drop-ins for the year. So say, you're not typically utilizing our program, but Friday you're going to need care, you have something going on. you can pre-purchase that drop-in, select the day you want, and your child will be able to attend that one day. And the fee for the drop-in is $50.
And then there was a question as well, Peter, about Juliana was asking, will a team member pick up our child from their classroom or lunch area? I think that's going to end up being on a school by school basis. I think Aquila and Peter, as they toured the buildings and talk to the building principals, they'll figure out what that transition is going to look like, and it'll be specific to each school. Great questions, you guys. Well, we are certainly here for till 7 o'clock if you guys need us. So keep asking questions. If you don't have any questions, like we said, we'll send out the recording. But we'll be here if you guys have other questions. Happy to stay on. So somebody just asked, they registered now. If I change my mind, can I cancel? Absolutely. And I will share as well, if you guys have anything that maybe is specific to your family or you don't want to ask in the broader setting, by all means, reach out to Peter or Aquila one-on-one, and you can get those questions answered as well. Peter, somebody just asked a question about pre-K second year. Will they be able to participate? We start at age 5.
Mm-hmm. We do, so school age, so kindergarten.
Yeah. There's also a question, Peter, about do we suggest that they talk to ELRC before registering for this program? Can you kind of speak to what the process looks like if they're eligible for that, but what we do in terms of the transition or the waiting period?
Yeah. So you'll definitely want to reach out if you already have a caseworker, reach out to them, let them know of the program. And then I'd say connect with me, reach out so I can help guide you through that process on our end. You will need the approval letter from them that you're approved for the subsidized care to get that set up with us. So I'd say yes, definitely reach out to them first and make sure that's in the works, and then I can help guide you through the process on our side.
And then a follow-up, Peter, to the question about the second year pre-K. She's going to be 5 September 17th. At that point, she'd be eligible.
Yeah.
Do you have a summer program or camps as well? So we typically do, but again, that's something that we'll need to work with the district on, because it does obviously require additional resources over the summer months. So that has not been determined yet, but well, as soon as we know, then we'll absolutely let you guys know. But it's something we'll work with the district on. And Peter, when can they reach out to their caseworker for the childcare assistance? Can they do that now?
You should be able to do that as soon as now. I'll just follow up to make sure that we have our provider ID submitted. So some of that may conflict with them being able to do something on their side. So definitely reach out to me so I can follow up with you on it. But I'd say you should be able to start the process with them.
Yes, Anna, that's correct. So if you want to reach out to Peter offline, he can work with you to make sure that he gets you the information that you need for that. All right, I think we're down to just a handful of people on. Does anybody else have any questions? If not, I want to make sure that I give you guys, I know you're busy. You have your children at home. It's dinner time or, close to it or a little bit after. So I want to be respectful of everybody's time. And again, like I said, we are recording this. So, but if there are any questions, we're happy to stay on. Who will be providing the care? So Peter, do you want to go through? I mean, Aquila, as he said, is our area manager. So he's going to oversee all of the programs. In Governor Mifflin, he will then hire a program manager for each location. And then depending on how many children we have enrolled in each program, we'll hire educators to match that 1-to-12 ratio.
Absolutely.
That's correct. Yep.
Any other questions? If not, I'm gonna give everybody some time back. We'll get this recording over to Brian. He will share that out with you all. And I hope everybody has a good rest of the evening and a great weekend and stay cool. I think we're getting some cooler weather finally, maybe. So
Thank you all for hopping on. Have a great night.
Thank you everyone for hopping on. Thank you.
thank you.
Mhm.
Just want to make sure I stop the recording here.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. We'll send you the recording as soon as I get it.
Sounds good. And then I'll get it off to Ashley and we'll get it out to everybody in the community.
Okay, awesome. Thank you
Thanks,
guys.
guys. Have a good night.
Bye.